Welcome to Mosquito Nets USA tutorial video on how to insert grommets into your heavy-duty mosquito netting. Today we're going to be working with these sunscreen fabric snap grommets. I highly recommend these grommets. They are UV resistant, rust-proof polymer grommets that can be inserted with just a hammer and a knife. As you can see here, I've got a pair of grommets. There's a female end here and then a male end there. And these grommets work really well. Once they're in forever. And you can really insert them anywhere into the netting just through a single layer of fabric. So there are a lot of uses for these grommets. A really popular use is to insert the grommets into the top edge of your netting and then attach the netting to a rod using shower curtain hooks. Other uses include installing cup hooks into wood and then hanging the netting from the cup hooks using the grommets. This works really well for stationary nets. And another use is attaching things to rods using these cable ties, also known as zip ties. You can also use these zip ties to attach one net to another net. The project that we're working on today is a 7-foot by 38-foot net, heavy-duty black, our most popular netting, and I'm going to be inserting grommets every 56 inches because this net is going to be going around a cantilevered umbrella and it needs to attach to each spoke that extends out from the center of that umbrella. So let's get started with our first grommet. The first grommet is going to start right at the top corner of this net because that is where the design has it that I've agreed on with the customer. And I'm going to put the male end on the bottom, the female end on the top. It sandwiches the netting in between. There's a single layer. This fabric is strong enough to hold with just a single layer. And then I'm just going to lightly tap on the grommet with this hammer. And I've chosen a stubby hammer just again so that you can see how little pressure is needed to put this grommet in. I'm just going to start as centered as possible and just tap it in real lightly. It'll take a little bit of patience to get the grommet in. You don't want to hit it too hard because doing so could break the grommet. And there we go. The grommet is now in. And I'm going to grab a knife and we'll cut out the center of the net. Now that the grommet has been inserted, I need to take a utility knife or razor blade and cut out the netting in the center of the grommet so that the grommet can be used. As you can see with the placement of the grommet, I put it about a ½ inch from each edge. This is important because you don't want any gap between the grommet and, let's say, a curtain rod, and you also don't want the netting to be too close to the edge, otherwise the grommet could fall out. So I'm just going to take a utility knife and we're just going to cut right along the edge. The sharper the blade, the better. And you can make kind of jagged cut and then just trim the netting out. And there we go. So the first grommet's in. That took me about a minute and a half. And then we're just going to put a grommet every 56 inches. If you're doing curtains, I recommend a grommet every 18 inches. You can do 12 inches, you can do 16 inches, it's really up to you, but 18 is what we found to be a happy medium between the number of grommets and the ability of the grommets to distribute the weight of the net. So now I'm going to show you how I place the second grommet. Again, this is for a cantilevered umbrella, and the spokes of the umbrella are 55 inches apart, so we're adding 1 inch, 56, to give it a tiny bit of slack. And I'm going to insert the second grommet just a little bit lower than the first, about 1 inch. I've measured from the center of the first grommet to the second grommet center, and I'm going to place the female end on and hammer it into place. If a grommet breaks, you don't want to use the grommet. Sometimes these will get a crack right here, and that's fine. That happens. If you're going to have 10 grommets in your net, since these are 10 packs, I recommend buying 2 because you can expect that about 10% of these will break as you're putting them in. They are plastic, so that does happen. But once the grommet's in, you don't have to worry about it again. These, once they're in, they're great. I love these grommets. So I've just inserted the 9th and final grommet into the net. You can see they're all in. They look very nice, very professional. The whole project took me about 8 minutes to insert the 9 grommets, and the cost of the grommets is about $4 total. So we're going to go down to the first grommet, and I'm going to show you how you would attach the netting using your new grommets. To attach your netting using the grommets, there are a few different methods. One popular one, if you have a wood patio, is to screw in these cup hooks. You can see there's a screw here, and you can put these into wood very easily. Then you can line up the grommet with the cup hook, and it inserts just like that. So it's very secure and very easy to remove, especially if you're using the netting temporarily or seasonally. If you are doing curtains, you can, there are a couple options. The really cheap way is to use zip ties, which work perfectly well. You just put the zip tie through, bring it closed just a little bit, just enough so that the zip tie doesn't come off, and then this slides on the rod. If you're attaching this like this customer is, so this customer is using this for cantilever and umbrella, he's going to be attaching it to the spoke that slides into the canopy pocket, and he's going to want this tighter. So for him, he's going to put it around the spoke and tighten it right to the spoke, giving it a really secure fit because he needs this netting to be quite tight. And when you're done for the season, it's very simple. To remove this cable tie, you just got a pair of scissors, and voila, you can pack up your netting, store it for the season, use it again next year. So I think this about wraps up our tutorial on inserting the grommets into your heavy-duty mosquito netting. As you can see, they're very easy to put in, inexpensive at about 50 cents per grommet, and they're very snug. Once these grommets are in, they're in, and they can hold quite a bit of weight. If you have any questions about doing your own netting or making your own curtains, contact us, Mosquito Nets USA, or you can call us 888-763-5337. Thanks for watching.